This is the Sports Hounds Real Sports Bark Podcast, bringing you current events, news, NFL, NBA, MLB, soccer, UFC, boxing, and more. Make sure to hit us up on the website, thesportshound.com. And now, here's your host, Tigsta.
What is happening, everybody? Welcome to episode 7 of the Sports Hounds Real Sports Bark Podcast with yours truly, Tigsta. Yes, indeed, we had a heck of a weekend in sports. Hope y'all tuned in to the heavyweight boxing match that we had with Deontay Wilder and Luis Ortiz. And boy, was this a fight for that 2018 season, man. Because I'm going to tell you, I'm a Deontay Wilder fan, but I keep an open mind when it comes to boxers. I love boxing. I love the strategies, the chess match, and everything else that it comes with. So it's like one of the perfect sports when it's just man versus man. Not a team sport, but man versus man. You face adversity. You face all kind of ups and downs in a boxing match, especially when the title's involved and you have to do 12 rounds. So you have stamina. You have to outthink your opponent. You have to be patient. You have to, use the body, the head, and you know what I mean? It's a lot involved in boxing, so that's why I get a big excitement out of. Now, with this fight happening Saturday night on Showtime, man, this was a nice, man, it's just, I'm speechless because, man, I watched this fight, man, and it's like, at first it was kind of like Wilder was like filling out Ortiz, and Ortiz wasn't giving up any ground as far as taking his stance, in the ring. And I give Ortiz his props, man, as far as being a very technically sound southpaw boxer. This dude has power too. That's one thing. And one thing I really noticed about Ortiz, his countering. Man, this dude is vicious when it comes to countering. It's kind of like when I was watching Wilder fight this dude, I seen kind of hesitation as far as not wanting to just go after with a Hail Mary and try to hit him with that the hardest right he can come with, because it leaves a boxer open, especially to a counter puncher. And Ortiz did that magnificently. His counters was like precise, and the dude is good, especially being a southpaw, left-handed. This dude was connecting, so Wilder kind of not, which was smart though on his half. You don't just rush in there careless, trying to get off, first, especially against a counter boxer, because that's what he wants you to do. He wants you to do that so he can go ahead and put them paws on you. You know what I mean? But who want them paws? But for real though, man. But there was one part when Wilder knocked Ortiz down, but it wasn't enough to end the fight or anything. He caught him with a good right, and Ortiz did get back up. But the thing that had me kind of like, weary about Deontay pulling out this fight was, I think it was the 7th round, when, man, did Ortiz give it to him. Ortiz started to unload with these combinations on Wilder, and Wilder was feeling it. But on the flip side of that, Wilder, I have nothing but great respect for this dude, because as far as having the chin and refusing to go down and just withstanding the storm, that's all you have to do. Is if you can withstand it, then catch a second wind if you're winded, and then come back. You can probably get that boxer to go ahead and just overexert itself of energy with punches that the intentions are to end the fight. But if they don't end the fight, then what you got left in the tank, you know what I mean? So Wilder, he withstood that. He went to his corner after the round, man. I thought the round could have ended one more good blow to Wilder could have ended it, but it didn't happen, and the bell came. So he got to get back to his corner and take a seat and take a breather and recalculate what he has to do. So, man, he came out of that corner. And you could start seeing this dude getting it back and getting his rhythm back, and then all of a sudden he started letting that right hand go, and he was connecting with it. Because then, Ortiz was feeling that. Ortiz even said it after the fight that he caught me with a right. That's everybody know about that right that Wilder has. You know what I mean? But avoiding it's a different story. And a lot of people going off about Wilder, when he goes wild with those wild, like not lunging punches but looping punches and so forth, and he said he just does that for, just goes crazy when he feels he has an opponent hurt, then he just goes off like that. You know what I mean? But it works because every time he does that, the fight ends. So something's working in that style. It's not, an orthodox way of fighting, especially looping punches. You usually want to just come less motion straight down the pipeline and connecting with your opponent, unless you coming with a hook or whatnot, but not a looping. You know what I mean? Not even a hook, really. You know what I mean? And a lot of times it was the inside of the glove, so it was like being pawed at. But man, he came out the corner, and he in the 10th round. It got to the 10th round where Wilder just went ahead and just dropped them. What the ghetto boy dropped them Fifth Ward bees on him. You know what I mean? And it rang his bell. And that was it, man. The finishing punch was an uppercut right. You know what I mean? I love the uppercut because that's one of the punches you can get in, especially when a boxer has a good guard with both hands up. Between the elbows coming up is wide open, because it's kind of hard to hold your arms together, elbows touching, but you can touch gloves and you have that space to go ahead and come through that crease and uppercuts all day long. But he finished it off with that. But matter of fact, let's go ahead and listen to what Wilder said after the fight at the post-fight presser.
How you guys doing? Thank you for waiting so long for me. I know y'all guys ready to go home, but tonight was a magical night. I knew I was in for a fight. Luis Ortiz is the most technical fighter in the division. We already knew that with the Cuban background. And, when guys come and fight me, we know they're going to bring their best. We know they do things that we never seen them do. Look at this man. He was running. He was doing things that we never seen him do, but when you finna fight the king of the division, you better get yourself prepared. You better get yourself mentally ready, because I got a heart of a lion, man, and that's just what it is. I tell people all the time, I'd rather be the part than look the part, and I showed that tonight. It's not about weight. It's not how big a person is. It's not about all of different things that people, get so wrapped up in their mind about boxing. Boxing is a beautiful sport. It's a sweet science to this. And it's all about who got the bigger heart. And tonight I showed I had the bigger heart. And I solidified myself at the top as the baddest man on the planet, And, like I've already said, my mission is to unify the division. As you can see, I'm not afraid to risk myself for small rewards with bigger risk, because I want to prove to the world that I am the best. That's my ultimate goal, to prove to the world I am the best. People got this thing so wrapped up. They done got so wrapped up into who making the most money, who got the most followers, who doing this. And, it ain't about that to me. It's about me proving who's the best. And America got a killer on their side, and I'm ready to put up my title with to anybody in the world that's ready for me. I feel once I beat Luis Ortiz, it ain't nobody else with the skill set that's going to be able to beat me.
You want sports? We got it right here. This is the Sports Hounds Real Sports Bark Podcast.
See, this is the one thing about Deontay Wilder that I like. This dude is focused on what it is that he's trying to achieve in the sport of boxing. He's not the type of fighter that's after the fame and the fortune. What he's trying to establish is a legacy of his own. This is his 40th fight, all right, as a heavyweight, with 39 KOs or TKOs, however, it doesn't matter. The fight was ended. 39 out of 40 is what he's been doing. 40 wins, all right? So now you got to figure this dude is set. In his mind, he's set to try to unify the heavyweight division. But he has to get these other heavyweights to keep from running and accept the challenge, at hand to fight him, which is scary for other fighters to do. But I want you to hear out of that press conference, after he was asked what was he thinking after the 7th round, which that was the round that Ortiz, gave him hell, and it almost ended. You know what I mean? One punch more and it could have ended the fight. But listen to what Wilder says after being asked what did he think, or what was he thinking after that 7th round.
I was just thinking, I really wasn't thinking nothing, to be honest. I really wasn't thinking nothing, to be honest. You know, I knew that once I got out of that whirlwind that he had me in. You know, he had me in a whirlwind, and I had to get up out of there because he throw nice combinations. And you know, I think when he put guys in that whirlwind, they give up. Their hearts start to play in, and it started to become a mental thing. And I always tell people, if you speak it, believe it, receive it, then you shall do that. And I speak things like I speak it because I want to be a living witness. It's nothing like showing people and then they believe it. Because a lot of people always say, I have to believe it. I have to see it to believe it. If that's the case, then I show people each and every time that I'm going to show you, then you believe in it, you know. And, you know, I can't be saying things and don't show it. You know, that's my biggest thing. I want to show people all you got to do is believe in yourself. No matter where you are, no matter who the opponent is, no matter who it is. It don't even have to be boxing. It can be just this, what you're doing. Like, just being, you know, you can have a regular job. You always want to be the best. You know, my first job was working at Burger King. And the thing about it, although it was a low-paying job, but I made sure I was the best worker there. Anything I do, I want to be the best at what I do. And I show it each and every time in the ring. So now I am 40-0 with 39 KOs. Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
Yeah, so hats off to Mr. Deontay Wilder for pulling out that gut-wrenching victory with a TKO of the 10th round over Luis Ortiz. Hell of a fight. I look forward to the next fight with this man, and hopefully we can get to the point of him and Joshua fighting to unify these heavyweight belts. So we'll look forward to that. Also, of course, this is March, you guys, and March Madness is upon us. Right now, we got these conference tournaments jumping off to go ahead and push these winners of those tournaments into the tournament itself of the NCAA championship tournament. And I'm going to save all this information for next week's episode 8, the NCAA tournament edition, because we're going to go over the seeds, the teams that's been named, because next Sunday is Selection Sunday, and we will have our full field of teams that's entering to this year's 2018 NCAA March Madness tournament. You know what I mean? So this year, man, is not no clear-cut favorites to me. I think it's going to come down. You might have a Sweet 16 made up of some of these mid-majors. You're going to get a school that you probably haven't heard of, but the reason why I give them some props as far as being able to do something is for the fact that when you come from a smaller school, most likely even the best player on the team is going to probably be there for 3-4 years, so they can develop. That team has continuity with playing with each other for 4 years. You know what I mean? And those are a little bit better teams. These major schools that's going to be in the tournament, your stars is going to probably do 1 or 2 years, and they're going to hit the NBA. You know what I mean? So therefore, the next youth movement comes in to take those slots and go ahead and start all over again. But these mid-majors, they're going to be schools where you got these seniors. There's going to be seniors on these starting fives where they played with each other for 3-4 years. So they really have the concept of a team effort at winning. So keep your eyes open for these smaller schools that's not really in the public's eye as far as the star talent that they might have. But you always get the best talent going to the big schools. You know what I mean? But usually the big talent is one and done. You know what I mean? They hit right for the draft. You know what I mean? So pay attention to March Madness. We're going to go, like I said, next week's episode 8, NCAA Tournament Edition, we're going to get into all that. I'm going to have some guests again. We're going to discuss back and forth and talk about who you feel might do what and what we're going to expect in the tournament and who do we think can make it. And it's going to be a hard process this year. I'm telling you, anyone that comes in this year with a bracket that's unblemished as far as perfect selections all the way through, they not human, because I doubt that's going to happen this year. It's not going to happen this year. You're going to have some upsets that you're not even going to like, oh my God, that team lost to who? There's going to be some schools that like today, what is it? Chicago, Loyola, something like that. Some small school that has not made it to the tournament in 33 years. Pay attention. They won their conference championship, so they get a free, get a berth into the tournament. But pay attention to these schools, man. If you're gonna do research on your bracket, go look behind these schools that you haven't seen or heard of really in a limelight, like the Dukes, North Carolinas, the Kansas, the Villanovas, and so forth, and see what year the players on that team are. And I guarantee you, if you come up with these schools that you see a bunch of juniors and seniors, keep your eye on them. They not to be messed with. They not to be messed with. But we're gonna get into that, like I said, next week. So I look forward to having you guys back listening to this podcast. And we're getting close to the NBA getting into their postseason too, though. So there's a lot of battles going on, especially in the West between 3 and 8. You have a lot of fluctuation with those seedings right now. Last night you just had the Trailblazers beating the Thunder, and then you had San Antonio losing to the Lakers, which puts Portland in sole possession of third seed, right behind Houston at no, not Houston, Golden State at 2 and Houston at 1. So between 3 and 8, it can be a lot of different teams moving around in that, man, in these last 20 games I think they have left on the season. So yeah, man, when the playoffs jump off, we're gonna get into that too, though, and start talking about matchups and who's favorite and who do you feel is gonna take a best of 7 series, first round, second round, so forth. So we got a lot of stuff coming. We got the NFL Combine was this weekend, and I want to give a special salute to Mr. Shaquem Griffin. This cat came out of Central Florida. You might know his twin brother, Shaquille. They call him Shaq Griffin. That came out of he plays for Seattle, for the Seahawks. He's a corner. His twin brother was born with a disorder where his fingers weren't fully developed. And the story is that at around 4 years old, his mother and father caught him trying to amputate the fingers because of the pain that they caused. So they scheduled an amputation for him the following day. But this dude here, don't get it wrong, so he's missing a hand. His left hand is missing, but it does not slow this dude down. This dude is out here getting it. I'm telling you, there's no excuses for any other person to complain about what they've been dealt with in life. This dude has succumbed not having a hand. Now let me explain what this guy has done in the combine. Linebacker, 6'1", 227 pounds, one hand. With a prosthetic hand on the bench press, the dude goes for 20 reps. That's right, 20 reps in the bench press with a prosthetic hand. You know what I mean? So then we get to the 40-yard dash. Mind you, I'm going to say it again, 6'1", 227 pounds, linebacker. The dude runs off an official 4.38. That's right, a 4.38 40. Now, he's not letting nothing slow him down, and I know it's directed towards all the doubters who feel, oh, well, even if he doesn't do good, he only has one hand. But listen to this brother talk. It's like he doesn't care about that. He said it does not matter. Heart and desire. And see, I got into a discussion with people on Twitter, and you can follow us on Twitter at SportsHound247, about analytics. And a lot of people go into analytics as far as it's using data and statistics to go ahead and project a person's or an athlete's worth, or as far as how they're going to do. But see, one thing analytics can never do is measure a man's heart and desire. Plain and simple. You can measure his 40 time. You can measure his vertical. You can measure how many reps he does on the bench. But you can't measure a man's heart and desire. Sometimes heart and desire can overcome athletic ability a lot of the times. Sometimes you get athletes that just okay athletes, but with the heart and desire that they have, it pushes them to a whole nother level, man. And I love this story about this dude, man, and I wish him well. I can see his stock growing. Possibility of probably not a first rounder, maybe not even a second, but he's gonna make it into the NFL. And whatever team gets him, he's gonna give you his all. I mean, this dude is outstanding. You know what I mean? As far as just, I watch his game film and it stands out. I mean, the dude is relentless. He does not quit. And see, he already has that instilled in him because he's grown up as a kid with a situation where either you was gonna quit and fold, or you was gonna say, to hell with that. I'm fighting through and I'm gonna get what I'm after. So I applaud this young man for doing what he's doing, and he's doing it well. If you guys get a chance, go to thesportshound.com, go to the website, check out the blog that I did on him, Shaquem the Dream. And it's a nice little write-up that I did on him, man, because this is something that younger kids can look up to and be inspired by, because no matter what situations life throw at you, you can either quit or you can just take it head on and persevere and make it through it, trials and tribulations. And he's a prime example of that. So hats off to Mr. Shaquem Griffin. Man, I seen you at the Combine, brother, and you did your thing, man. And I look forward to seeing you get drafted. So all in all, this weekend, man, we there's a lot of stuff jumping off, man. What else we had? UFC 222. Chris Cyborg, she did it again. I thought the girl that was giving her the fight was coming in there. She wasn't scared. She came in there to give her, her idea of the business, but her business wasn't as big as Cyborg's business, so Cyborg pulled it out, man. She clobbered her. I used that word, clobbered. She got clobbered because she started dropping them hammer fists on her, and ref had to get in there. That's it. So yeah, another good one in her sport. Cyborg, man, and she's just as relentless as these dudes are, so never overlook her. So that's about it this week. Next week, like I said, we're gonna jump into this NCAA tournament, man. So I'm waiting for Selection Sunday so I can see what schools is gonna do their thing. This weekend we had like some tournament championships, like I said. I see what Duke pulled it over North Carolina, and hell, I'm waiting to see Pac-12 and see how that goes. Oregon beat Washington. Yeah, so there's more to come. We got a lot of stuff coming at you sports-wise, so you guys just keep focused, keep listening, support us, like, share, follow. I'm Texter. This is the Sports Hounds Real Sports Bark Podcast, Episode 7, and we'll see y'all next week. And I'm out.
Thanks for checking out the Sports Hounds Real Sports Bark Podcast. For more exclusive content, follow us on all social media. Twitter, SportsHound 24/7. Instagram, SportsHound Media. Facebook, SportsHound Media. And on the website at thesportshound.com. And tell your damn friends about the hottest sports podcast on the web.